All right, in this lesson, we're going to go over the basics of preparing the statement of cash flows. We know in the last lesson that there are 3 sections to the statement of cash flows. In this lesson, we're going to walk you kind of through what you need to know, and then we're going to really start understanding in deeper the statement of cash flows in future lessons. So this is more just like a foundational knowledge type of lesson where I'm going to go over the theory because we need to know the theory, and it would make for a really long video if we started to actually tell you how we would put together a statement of cash flow. So that's what we're going to do in this lesson, is just go over the basics and understanding of the statement of cash flow. So let's get started here. The statement of cash flow uses the same information used to prepare the income statement and the balance sheet, and that's the key thing. So in the last lesson, I told you that there was these transactions that have a cash effect, and then we put them into operating, investing, and financing. But in reality, we're not going to look at all the transactions, because if you think about a corporation like a Walmart or a Target or a Best Buy or an Amazon, they have tons and tons and tons of cash transactions, and it would be kind of dumb if we had to sift through every single transaction. So there's an easier way of doing this, and we're going to use some of the information that we get from the balance sheet and some of the information that we get from the income statement to actually help us prepare the statement of cash flows. And it makes it a little bit easier to prepare the statement of cash flows than to sifting through all the transactions that a company actually has that affects cash. Now, some of the materials that we need to prepare the cash flow statement in order to do that include a comparative balance sheet. Now, the key word here is comparative balance sheet, not just a balance sheet. We need a comparative balance sheet. So we need the beginning balance and the ending balance, because we're going to be looking at the change between the balance amounts over the course of a period. In addition, we're going to need the income statement. That doesn't need to be comparative. That can just be the income statement as of the date of the statement of cash flows that we are going to be preparing. And then we're also going to need possibly additional information about investing and financing activities that we could see happen in the balance sheet, but we do need confirmation of what's going on. And because there could be some ins and outs which nets out to a balance, it doesn't mean that there was only one transaction. There could have been multiple transactions that would net out to that amount, and we need to know what that split looked like. So having some additional information will help us to prepare the statement of cash flows for those sections specifically. Now, some of the mechanics of preparing the statement of cash flows, well, at the end of the day, we will be reviewing the changes in liabilities. So we're going to look at the comparative balance sheet. We're going to see what the changes are from the beginning balance to the ending balance of the liabilities accounts. We're also going to be looking at the changes in the stockholders' equity account, the non-cash asset accounts. So we're not going to look at the change in cash, because the statement itself is a change in cash statement. And so we're not going to look at cash, but we're going to look at everything other than cash that's on the asset side of the balance sheet. So we're going to look at the changes of those, and then we're going to use that to prepare our statement of cash flows. And all of this will affect the statement of cash flows and get us to what we call the change in cash. So once we have that, then we can start preparing the statement of cash flows, which we're going to help you understand in the next few lessons. So that is the basics of preparing the statement of cash flows. I know it's just a theory, and I could put this with other lessons, but the key thing here is, or the key reason not to do that, is we're now going to break up in the next few lessons the different sections and walk you through how we prepare them. And it just makes sense to start you off with the basic foundation of how we prepare, how we go through it, instead of trying to cram it all into these different various lessons. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson on the basics of the statement of cash flows. And then in the next lesson, we'll start helping you understand that operating section of the statement of cash flows. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. We'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure you press the like button below. And if you're looking for worksheets that go along with all of these lessons, head over to my website at patrickleemsa.com or click in the link in the far right. And I've got your next lesson right over here. So just click that link and it'll take you to that video. So until then, we'll see you in the next lesson.